The Warriors. What happened to them? 5 years of complete dominance over a league that had no answer. They evolved the NBA landscape with their dynamic and free-flowing play. Entire teams were created just to beat them. But the bigger they are, the harder they fall. The Warriors fell alright, and it was spectacular, one by one losing everything that got them to the top. Hit with some of the worst injury luck in the history of sports. What remained was a sorry afterthought of a team. But what if I told you this wasn't the end? What if I told you the Warriors still had a chance? In fact, cut the track. This season is all part of the Warriors Masterplan. What's up guys, I'm back with another video, and as you guys probably already know, Klay got injured at the end of the finals, KD left, and when Steph broke his hand against the Suns 5 games into the season, many people believed that the Warriors dynasty was over. But I think that the Warriors are poised to come back fully reloaded by 2020. It's obvious that the Warriors are tanking this year, so we're going to try and find out what the Warriors are preparing for next year. To do this, let's look at the current roster of the Warriors and assess each player based on their potential and what the Warriors will do with them next year. There are 4 levels to their players' potential: players with no hope, role players, stars, and perennial all-stars. Got the idea? Let's get it started. First off, we have Ky Bowman. He's a two-way rookie guard, and even though he spent most of his time in the G League, I'm listing Bowman as a role player because he definitely has the ability to score at the NBA level, and he's an efficient facilitator. But that's as far as I'll go because he's way too small on the defensive end. Next year, Bowman will probably be coming off the bench for Steph to minimize his defensive liabilities. Next up, we have Alec Burks. He's probably the second best scorer on the Warriors right now after D'Angelo, but he's also a tank commander along with Glenn Robinson and could possibly be flipped for a solid starting big man for next year depending on the draft situation. If he doesn't get traded, the Warriors probably won't re-sign him because other teams would offer him more money than the Warriors. Next, we have Marquise Chris. At some point, he could have been a solid starter in the league because he definitely has the physical attributes and talent to become a well-rounded role player. He's 6'10", lean, athletic, and fast. Unfortunately, he has not lived up to these expectations due to his terrible attitude and mercurial behavior. Moving on to a much more promising player, we have Eric Paschall, who has the potential to be a perennial all-star, though a star player seems more likely. Coming out of Villanova as a 3-year player, he already seems extremely polished, playing bully ball while also being a decent 3-point shooter. If he can figure out how to draw fouls, he would definitely be one of the better players in his draft class. Defensively, he has all the fundamentals, so there's no gaping hole there. Paschall would be great coming off the bench next year and for a distant future. The next 3 players on the list are Omari Spellman, Jacob Evans, and Jordan Poole. Omari is a decent rebounder, can space the floor quite well, and he's young, so I can see him being a vital source of rebounding off of the bench next year if the Warriors don't get a big man in the draft. Poole and Evans, on the other hand, are both inefficient guards that hurt their team if their shot's not falling, and often it doesn't fall, so I can see them getting waived for a much more efficient scorer in Damian Lee, who has been a two-way player this year. Willie Cauley-Stein is a question mark in my books because he was a good pick-and-roll player and rim protector on the Kings, but has regressed this year. I believe he can provide a good spark off of the bench for the Warriors like a JaVale McGee or a Dwight Howard type of player when Steph comes back because he has the athleticism to catch lobs. However, this is dependent on if he is willing to work to get to that level since he definitely has the talent to do so. Next on the list is Alen Smailagić. The Warriors have been hiding him in the G League for the last 2 years and he's still only 19. Even more surprisingly, he's been one of the G League's best players for those 2 years. He's extremely versatile and able to both playmake and guard the 4 and the 5. If he can improve at the rate he has for the last 2 years, the Warriors already have their starting big man for next year. The last 4 players, Steph, Klay, D'Angelo, and Draymond, are all established all-stars, and you really don't need me to tell you they're good. In terms of trade value, Steph remains extremely unlikely to be traded out of those 4, but we'll get onto the other 3 in a bit. The Warriors are also very likely to get a top 3 draft pick this year. With a loaded draft pool of James Wiseman, Anthony Edwards, and LaMelo Ball, those 3 players could easily make an immediate impact on our roster, or easily be flipped for an excellent role player. Last and certainly not least, we have a certain trade that almost guarantees the Warriors becoming contenders: Giannis Antetokounmpo. While it may seem crazy now, the Warriors have a solid opportunity to get Giannis off of the Bucks. Although the Bucks will never trade Giannis away, Giannis is a free agent next year, and if he wants out, he can force a sign-and trade, and the Warriors have the most assets to give the Bucks out of the 29 other teams in the league. Klay, D'Angelo, and Draymond are the three players that can be used in the sign and trade to clear cap space and give Giannis a lucrative contract, as well as a virtually unstoppable team. With Giannis, Steph, 2 All-Stars, a top 3 pick, and an extremely productive bench, the Warriors will instantly become title contenders in 2020.